Still tuning in on 89.5 FM. It's time for our first interview for the day. On the line, I am joined by Alex O'Donoghue. I hope I'm pronouncing your surname right, though. I even asked her offline and said, please get I hope I'm not going to butcher it. Alex,
Hello. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. And also, how was your weekend, by the way?
It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. I had a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Thank you. How was yours?
It was fine. Cold and wet, though.
Cold and wet. But we need the rain. We haven't had enough rain, and we need it.
Yes.
So it was a blessing.
Anyway, Alex, thank you very much for joining us. Alex is from Call to Care organization, which is a non-profit organization located here in Cape Town. Was founded on Heritage Day on the 14th of September in 2004. It aims to improve the lives through educational community projects and socially conscious events while offering a sustainable to-end service to corporates, government, and the general public. Call to care. You can hear from the phrase that you guys were calling people saying that, you know what, we need to do something and we need to do it now.
Yes.
The idea.
100%.
How did it start it?
So, truthfully, it was an informal volunteer organization with a group of like-minded citizens that wanted to go out and just, do some good work in the community. And as we continued doing several different projects, we were getting an overwhelming response or inquiry from corporate sector saying, "Oh, we'd love to get our team involved in a CSI project. This looks wonderful." And so we started formalizing and realized there's actually a lot of people that want to do good work, but they just don't know how to approach it. And so we sort of take that role on, where, like, in essence, the Robin Hood without the bandits in the woods, kind of bridging the gap between those that can support and being at grassroots level in the community with several different initiatives, that serve communities' needs. Actually sitting there, having community conversations. What is it that's important? What's needed? And how can we do it in a non-codependent way? That's in essence how we started, and we were officially born on Heritage Day, doing a soup kitchen at Baphumelele in Khayelitsha, and the rest is history.
I was going to come back to that birthday of yours. Especially, Heritage Month is a month of celebrate who you are, your culture. What's the significance, though, on starting on that month of, especially on the day of Heritage Day?
Well, I mean, it just made sense at the time. We as a collective just thought, instead of sitting at home and having a braai, which is also important, I'm not undermining the importance of spending quality time with your family and sitting and having a braai. We thought, let's go and do a massive braai in Baphumelele, which, is a full street in Khayelitsha. They have a hospice. They've got, children-run homes, house, and so we decided we're going to go and have a braai out in Khayelitsha. And it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful way to celebrate Heritage Day, and just enjoy it. So yeah, it made sense at the time.
If you have just tuned in now, it's been to Alex from Call to Care. So can you give me, kind of a list of some of the programs that Call to Care do in these different communities? Sure,
of course. So we have 6 different initiatives currently grown, and initiatives that are at the moment being developed. Our hero program is called the Igadi Project. It's our food security program, where we're implementing vegetable gardens in beneficiaries and communities that need it to increase food security, but we're also using waste, sequestering tons of waste from landfill and building our vegetable gardens out of eco-brick. And then naturally, alongside the implementation, there's the training, just to ensure that, everybody knows exactly how to keep a garden alive for many years to come. And then we have our revamp initiative, that's, safety and compliance and maintenance. Because at the end of the day, a lot of schools, creches don't have the budget to be able to maintain the infrastructure. And so entropy takes its course. And this is also just a very easy way for corporate to get involved if they want to get creative. And we go in and we do infographic murals, fine motor skills, pathways for little kiddies. And we actually just enhance the space to make it a learning oasis. We've got the Pelile project, which is currently a developing initiative where we are working with creating software, an online program for work readiness, so that the youth just feel like they've got a little bit more direction. And it's not such a scary thing to go out into the working world, kind of like break through that imposter syndrome. So that's something that one can start looking forward to from Cool to Care. We've got the Big One for Climate Change, our urban greening initiative, where we have now piloted at Bantry Bay and done a beautiful urban greening project there. So we're going into different parts of Cape Town, both high-end, low-income communities, it doesn't matter, because in essence, it's all in the theme of mitigating climate change. We have Paint and Sip, which is our fundraiser. It's more fun, more creative. We're using local artists, and you can come to a wine farm and sit and enjoy a glass of wine and create a beautiful artwork. And it goes into our ecosystem of outreach projects. And I think I own Hugh, of course, Hugh, which is our hand up, not hand out, homeless and sort of forgotten citizens support initiative, where we assist safe houses, homeless citizens. We do an annual street stall. Well, it's not a street store in the sense that it's the street store brand, but it is, taking pre-loved clothes, setting up a beautiful space that homeless citizens can come and choose what they need, not just given a bag of clothes that they don't need, whether it's for an interview that they want or whether it's just to keep warm in winter. So there's a lot.
I can hear. So Alex, on Mandela Day, a lot of organizations were doing a lot of initiatives, and you guys were doing the Mandela Daycare Have and Shelter.
That's right.
So how did that one go?
Well, we actually had a Mandela Week. We had about 6 initiatives running concurrently, and it was just beautiful because, naturally we're working with quite an extensive amount of corporate and also just private citizens that want to do good work, and so we juggled. But Care Haven was beautiful. Care Haven was absolutely incredible. Went out, we did a whole pamper and picnic day, washed the ladies' hair, did manicures, facials. Oh, it was beautiful. Just a way to sit and celebrate, as women, how it's just important to sit and connect and feel the love, especially in a safe house environment where there's incomprehensible trauma. So, it was beautiful. Really, really. Mandela Week is my favorite week of the year. That's when the magic happens, because it all just comes together.
And 2022, what's some of the highlights for the organization, for Call to Care?
Oh, my gosh. I've got to go back and reflect, hey. So we started the Pelile project, the work readiness program. So that's being frameworked at the moment, and we're creating content. So that's a huge highlight. I actually can't wait for that to launch. We partnered with Waste Ed with our Igadi project. So enhanced our Igadi project to sequester waste from landfill. And that is just, we've got about 4 beneficiaries now and have sequestered like tens of tons of waste. It's incredible. Mandela Week was our busiest Mandela Week ever. in the 9 years that we've been around. You know, I always say an NGO. I always say, here I'm on air and someone, hi, sorry, I'm just on the phone on the radio. Sorry. I always say that an NGO is like a development of a child. You know, if you're 9 years old, you're a 9-year-old child. But we had the busiest Mandela week of the last 9 years, and that was a huge highlight. And there's so much to come. I must say, COVID really did affect us, as it did everyone, and it slowed us down, but it allowed us to reflect. We pivoted, and we carry on stronger than we ever have. And I think that's the biggest highlight of all.
And challenges?
Challenges? You know, we're still feeling the after effect of COVID, for sure. And I think everyone is. So we're still pushing through a bit of that resistance. But, and I suppose, like, I think maybe one of the biggest challenges is we're not a very big team. We do a lot with not the biggest team. So, you know, as we grow and as people come to understand what we do and are, you know, passionate about what we do, and we have such an overwhelming amount of support, it's incredible. We realize capacity is quite important. And so, trying to, like, just grow and not completely spread ourselves thin. That's, I think, probably the biggest challenge. But, you know, you work with it. You become strategic. You grow.
If you have just tuned in now, we're speaking to Alex from Call to Care. One of the reasons Bush Radio always does these kind of interviews is to also showcase that there's lots of people out there in our communities who are doing a lot, trying to do a change, even with difficulties. I know that one of the difficulties that you didn't highlight was funding. I know with organizations, maybe you didn't want to touch on money. Alex, you must touch on money, you know.
Okay.
We know that with organizations, they're trying hard. You have to pay the staff. You have to do all other things, you know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Also, let's say for somebody who's listening now, would love to be part of Call to Care, would like to help or would like to read more on it, how can they get hold of you guys?
Brilliant. I'm really glad that you did touch on that. You know, I think at the end of the day, and I believe there's also a concept called, I can't exactly remember what it is, but I can't remember exactly the name of the concept, but some organizations are established and doing great and actually do need that funding. And if you find yourself in a position where you're not entirely sure how to help out, just a monthly contribution goes a long way, because that is already getting pumped into an ecosystem that can support. And so if anybody does want to help on the funding front, the monthly contribution donation set up. It's on our website. And you can donate anything from 10 Rand to 250 Rand a month. And that really goes a long way. It helps us pay salaries. It helps us to create a foundation of sustainability for our organization. Because at the end of the day, most of our projects, all of our projects take place in beneficiaries, and we do get funding for those particular projects. So, you know, if you're a corporate entity that wants to come out and do a team build, or you have a CSI department and you really do need some direction, that's what we do. So do contact us for that. Again, all of our contacts are on our website. But ultimately, us as an organization also needs to be sustainable. So thank you for touching on that, because that is really important. And all those details are on our website. Our website is www.call2care with the number 2 in the middle, CALL, 2 CARE.org.za instead of .co.za.
That is Alex from Call to Care. Alex, before I let you go, we always ask our guest to give us few words, especially for our listener who's going through maybe a lot, maybe thinking like, damn, life is not the way it's supposed to be, you know? What would you like to say to the listener as we're speaking now?
I believe that life is a beautiful, colorful array of opportunity. And it's tough. No, it isn't easy, especially in lieu of COVID and especially in lieu of just life itself. Trauma presents itself, I think it's for all of us. But ultimately, just being in the present moment, taking it one step at a time, slowing down, doing what you can for you, and most importantly, cup full, you can give if your cup is full. But then also just in life in general, just taking the same approach. There's only beauty out of that. And so that's my sentiment of the morning, and that's what I want to share with the listeners. And also, thank you so much for listening. You are listening and taking the time.
I'm not going to add any further. Thank you very much, Alex, for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Same to you. Have a beautiful week.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Right. That is Alex from Call to Care. You can also log on to their website, which is www.calltocare.org.za. There's lots of organizations that are out there doing a lot.